Yeah, starting on the offensive side of the ball, obviously having Nino back, and he was the offensive freshman of the year last year is a big deal at quarterback. When you have the trigger man back, you can put the pieces around him to be successful. Up front on the offensive line, kind of have revamped a little bit, but we still have Brandon Hastings coming back, all-league kid for us last year. Malik Bowman, he's a true freshman last year, played a lot of games for us, so we're excited about those two guys and some new guys that have come in, and we'll kind of mix the pieces up this spring. We're bringing in 10 freshman O-linemen as well, so we'll have some work to do there during camp and see kind of where we put the best 5 out there on the field. The running back room, we still have a three-headed monster back there, and hopefully get some guys back off of injury. Obviously Leonard Farrow and LeJay Hatcher kind of had a great summer. They've been here all summer. We're really excited about those guys. Had to revamp the whole tight end room, brought in a couple transfers at the mid-year that were here with us in spring that we're excited to see what they can do when they get out there and it's live action. In the wide-out room, you have a great nucleus coming back with JoJo Alston and Winston Page and those type of guys, Jermaine Bradford. And, we got some young guys that were here last year that we're excited about that did a good job in the spring, brought in a couple transfers as well in that room. And so I think we'll have a good nucleus here on offense. It's just putting the right pieces around Nino is kind of something that we're going to have to continue to work out throughout camp. And so we're excited about the opportunity to do that as a coaching staff. Defensively, got a couple more guys back over there. Nemo Roberts coming back up front, Josh Auld up front, Matt Pack up front. Kind of figured it out late in the year last year with what we were doing, and I thought they ended the season really well. They had a good spring. We're excited about those 3. We have some, 3 or 4 guys, new guys coming into that room that we're expecting to come in and take some snaps. A couple guys were here in the spring. Tyree Smith coming back off a foot injury where we lost him last year. And, a guy that stepped up a lot for us last year and being all the guy is Nick Longo. He's back as well, so we're excited about that linebacker crew. Brought in a couple transfers at the mid-year that I think the future's bright for that room. They got some depth in there, and then we can start to do some different things. 2 corners are back. Having Gavin Smith back out there at the field spot and Javon Lewis back off of missed a couple games in the middle of the season last year. Caused a lot of turnovers for us. Those 2 are big pieces, and Karan Watisse is back on the back end. Have a retool. Brought in 4 or 5 mid-year transfers in that room as well. Got some good talented things, and similar to the O-line, it's kind of been finding the best 5 and moving those guys around to put the best pieces on the field. And then the specialist room's all back. Obviously, Emmanuel Richardson kind of starts with him. Thought Ethan Vargo Thomas had a great spring. And our long snapper, little Jack, man, he's doing a good job. We're excited about him, and he can kind of do a little bit of everything for us. I think our biggest strength is we've changed kind of how we've looked. So obviously, that starts in the weight room. We're a little bit bigger. The guys that we brought in are a little bit bigger. I think we're going to play a lot more physical because of that. We had a lot more physical spring. So I think our biggest strength is just the fact that we have size and length at spots we didn't have size and length at last year, and they're going to play with a little bit more physicality. Yeah, I think that's finding out who the best 5 are up front on the offensive line because everything starts and ends up there. So, making sure we put the best pieces up there and have some different lineups. And, last year we unfortunately had a lot of injuries. We played 6 different lineups. So it's can we find the best 5 up there? Can they stay healthy and do it throughout the season is a big point that we're trying to look at throughout camp, and obviously getting into the early part of the year with how quick camp hits and how quick Seton Hill will be here. Yeah. I think we'll have a couple of them. We brought in some mid-year kids. If I just pick one on each side of the ball, I think David Driscoll was a tight end transfer we brought in at the mid-year from Charleston Southern. I think he's a little different than they've seen in this league in a while. He's a big, tall, long kid. He can help in the passing game. He does a good job on the line. I think people will know his name by the end of the season if he does what he needs to do. And I think Quadir Lockett-Smith on defense. He plays that nickel kind of spot for us there. We brought him in the mid-year as well. He's tough. He's long. He can cover a man. I think those 2 names, when we get to the end of the year, as long barring anything crazy, I think a lot of people will know who those 2 kids are based on what they've shown in the spring and what I think they can do this upcoming fall. I think that linebacker group. We brought in 3 mid-year kids, and all those kids have fit in great. But you had the 2 nucleus guys back, and then Detroit Jones played a lot of snaps for us last year. He's back in that room as well. So they have 6 bodies in there, 6 guys in there that I think are very talented. I think Coach Johnson has a hard deal with trying to figure out which ones to put on the field in what situations. But that room, to me, I think is probably one of our deepest rooms on the team. And